And just a friendly reminder, if you are looking for science-based powerlifting programming, look no further than the Team Roar training app. You can find the link to it in the episode description and also get 25% off of your first month using discount code all capital PL Ballads podcast. Happy training.
Welcome to episode 219. How are you, Josh?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So we have a special guest.
Dr. Mike Hafenbrack. Dr. Michael Hafenbrack.
How are you guys doing? Thanks
We're,
for having me.
we're good. How are you?
Good. I'm still a little beat up, honestly.
From the meet?
Yeah, from the meet. And then I feel like it's just been running around nonstop trying to catch up on everything with work and stuff. So it's like it's been
Mhm.
a it's been a rush. But
So, for those few people that don't know who you are, why don't you tell us who you are and why are you important enough to be on this prestigious podcast?
important is questionable. Um, but my name's Michael Hafenbrack. I've been lifting for 25 years now. I guess you're interviewing me because I just got done with lifting at Equip Nationals.
Honestly,
Um,
our list of people to be on the podcast was pretty empty, so we're taking whoever we could get.
okay, yeah, that makes more sense too. So, but yeah, I've been pretty active with powerlifting since I was in high school, and currently I'm the chair of the Equipped committee. I'm also on the collegiate committee.
You've been competing since
2000,
okay. So, you're also the coach of Sam Houston State, correct?
correct?
And so last week we talked about also, I guess what's your day job? What do you do?
Oh, I work as a physical therapist, so that's my full-time job where I make money.
And then powerlifting is where you lose it.
Yeah, exactly. No, you hit the nail on the head there. So, but yeah, I specialize in workers' comp and litigation as well as cancer rehab.
Nice. I actually didn't know that. I knew you were a physical therapist, but I didn't know the specifics of it.
Yeah.
So I want to start with this. Last week we reported incorrectly that you won a teenage national title, a junior collegiate open and masters, but you never had the junior national title. And supposedly that's incorrect. You actually do.
Yeah. 2006.
Okay.
I had to go back and look at this because I remembered we were on the Quest Nutrition B team for that meet.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
and Merce. And yeah, we were just kind of like,
So was there an A team and a B team?
well, yeah, the open people, they had the whole open like Quest Nutrition team that had like Tony Cardella and all those guys, and we were in the junior group. So, and I think Sherman, gave us some T-shirts and put us together as a team for that meet, and so we were on that group. But otherwise, I've been mostly with Titan this whole time, which as far back as I can remember, Titan's always been taking good care of me. So
Yeah. Are you the only person to ever win all of those? Do you know?
I think Steve Mann is the only other person, but I'm not the historian. Probably refer to Eric or you for that.
I'm not sure either. I know Steve, I'm pretty sure he won a high school collegiate open and masters, but I'm not sure about the teen and junior. That's the only one I'm not sure about. So you may be one of one. I'm not sure. But you know, per our normal, we didn't look this up, so we actually are just speculating.
Maybe like an edit after the.
Eh,
Yeah.
probably not. We'll just leave it as is. We
Okay.
didn't look it up. We don't know.
We
Doesn't
can
make
come back
it.
to it, do the research and then report next week. So people will have something to look forward to
So
hearing.
theoretically, what I'm really hoping is like somebody will just message me the information after listening to this, and then we actually can continue just doing no work.
Mm, yeah, I like that too.
That's my dream. Um, so you are the equipped committee chair. Do you have what are your feelings and thoughts, I guess, overall on equip lifting? Like it's obviously this is the smallest turnout we've had in a long, long time. Like, what do you see in the future?
Yeah, that's obviously like the big elephant in the room is like how it just keeps diminishing. Each year since we've had it in Dallas, it's kind of just gone down in the numbers each year. And, I think some of that is the locations of the meet and the difficulty of travel. You know, I it's tough. It's definitely seems like it's an uphill battle trying to build it back up again. But I think there's a lot of opportunity. Like pretty much right after we got done with this nationals, I got on the phone with Quentin and we've been kind of kicking some ideas back and forth. And there's some people on the committee with me that are really active, and there's definitely a lot of passionate people. Like we're a small group, but we're also like really passionate. We really love like this division and want to see it keep growing. And thankfully, people have been pretty eager to help too, like kicking out a lot of good ideas that I hope to implement over the next year and then leading up into Appleton next year.
Any specifics you can say, or is that all off the
Oh,
record still?
um, so one of it's like promotion, communication. Like, me and Quinn had a really good talk about just like having more info out there, just more exposure. Had a good talk with Polly about that too. I was really optimistic, like how much people in the national office have been reaching out to show support with that too. But I think the big one is communication and also like more emphasis on reaching out to like the collegiate group. That's our largest equipped group of lifters right now. I think we had 300 or more at collegiate this year. I should probably know those numbers, but I don't.
Yeah, well, you know which
Yeah,
podcast you're on, so it's good.
yeah. But also, like, I think the big barrier for those people continuing after collegiate nationals to open is having people to help out, to help them with training or just knowing how to do it on their own too. So like I've heard both ends of like there's people that do train equipped, they train by themselves and they figure out how to make it work. So talking with those individuals to get their insight on tips and tricks and things that they do, but also just to try to help people find people in their community, in their area that also do equipped lifting, I think would be really beneficial as well.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, but like, I mean, we love it. That's how we came up. And that's just kind of like what powerlifting was when we started. And to us, that's still what powerlifting is, to a large degree. But it is challenging because, like, yeah, it does take it takes a community to, train to show up to the meet. And I think to me, that's always been a positive of it. But
Yeah.
I still think, for people that don't have that, or, they're in a remote area where they don't have a lot of training partners and stuff, it can be a little bit more challenging. So, yeah, I'd like to see, like, I don't know. Obviously, I'd like to see it grow. And, I've been scratching my head too, like how to make that work, and maybe more like, I think you're right about the communication, because even lifters I coach, like letting them know, like, hey, you could do this meet, you could go to equip nationals and just wear knee wraps. You don't even have to wear knee wraps. Like, you don't have to wear gear. And I think people just associate like the equip division with, you have to wear all this stuff. And that's not the case. So sometimes just like getting, the word out that, hey, you could do this just with minimal gear. And, if you like it, then you could you know, dabble with more if you want to. But
Yeah, like there was a guy at the meet this weekend, Kevin, that was competing against me, and it was his first national meet, and we were talking a little bit about how, like didn't hit the qualifications for Raw Nats, but like here's another national meet that I did qualify for, and just seems like a good way to get experience, at that level of a competition stuff. And so, I thought that was really cool to hear, but also just like the community aspect. I think that's the thing that keeps me lifting is like having that group of people around and we help each other out, even just going to the gym, because there's definitely times where like you don't want to go to the gym, you work all day and you're tired, but if you don't go, then those people won't have anyone help them out. And, it just kind of goes back and forth. Like they're always there to help me. I want to always be there to help them, the give and take.
yeah, and they probably also won't let you hear the end of it if you don't come on one of the days too, right?
Oh yeah, no, the trash talk is also part of that,
Yeah.
community involvement, I guess. So
So how big is the group that you train with normally?
oh, it goes up and down right now. It's definitely smaller. The longer I keep doing this, my little circle gets smaller. I'm lucky to have the Sam Houston team there because a lot of the people that help me for this meet are the guys that help me coach Sam Houston as well. And then some of the current lifters are also there and they'll come help me if I need spots and things like that too. So I'm very lucky to have that. The gym I train at is Texas Strength Systems in Houston. And even like, though most of those people aren't equipped lifters, they're still like very active and very helpful too. Like they're just, it's a good group there. So
So how did you get involved with Sam Houston University?
by accident, I was, so when I moved to Houston, it was Chris Vickery and Alex Smith and a lot of these guys that were at Sam Houston, and they would drive down to Spring Fitness and they train with Tony Cardella and that crew that I was also with. And I think the thing that got me started with actually coaching the team was I did the physical therapy rehab for Alex Smith after his ACL surgery, and that was like the big goal was trying to get him back to doing collegiate nationals, which he was able to go back and compete at collegiate nationals 6 months post-op. So pretty good recovery. And in the process of like getting more involved with coaching Alex, I started coaching more or just being involved more with the team. And it kind of just fell from there too. Actually, I was kind of told that I had to at one point because there was a year they forgot to turn in their entry fees for nationals again, is what I was told. And they're like, we'll let them compete, but you got to do a better job. I'm like, I don't coach these people. I don't know these people. So, and now I do.
That's funny.
Nice. You got voluntold,
Yeah, basically. And then,
literally.
yeah. And then Alex always takes credit for like tricking me into this. So shout out Alex Smith.
All right. So we had a question that kind of relates to this come in on Instagram. It's actually from Mr. Jeremy Hartman, who you may know. But he wanted to know like how you stayed healthy to compete at such a high level for so long. Because obviously, I mean, we're talking 25 years across basically every division, age division. So that's a long time. You know, that was you started before me and you're younger than me and you're also now competing in a master's division. Uh, and I have yet to compete in a master's division. So all I'm saying is like a lot of us that started like back then have fallen off, but you're still going. So what's the key?
I think having a good community and a support group, like people to train with, helps a lot, just as far as like keeping the motivation up. The older I get, it's also just less is more. I think, it's definitely, I can't keep up with the 18 to 20 year olds anymore as far as like training and, recovery and things like that. And that took me a long time to admit that. And I'm still a little in denial about it. But less is more at some point with the training. And then there's injuries. Like I've had a couple surgeries and things over the years, and it just kind of like realizing that you can come back from this. Like it may be a slow start, especially like I think the last one I had was a bilateral hernia repair, and yeah, that was a tricky one to recover from. And also injuries, things like that. But just realizing your body can heal if you let it the proper way.
Has being a physical therapist helped?
A lot. It's a it's a like I think when I got done with physical therapy school and this like the couple years of practicing, it's definitely changed my outlook a lot on the actual training process and programming because like recovery is a really important part of that, which nowadays they talk about this more often as far as like your nutrition, it's the sleeping and all that stuff. But like, you know, give it a couple decades ago, that was not something that we really talked about or emphasized as much. And even nowadays, I think the recovery and the rehab is really important because, training's great, especially when you first start out and everything, all the numbers go up. You can just show up, do the bare minimum, and get stronger at the beginning. But there's that point where it's like, how do you get past the plateaus? And the hardest thing is like, how do you stay with it and stay motivated when you have injuries?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think recognizing that you're not 20 when you're not 20
Yeah.
is kind of hard, right? When you're used to traveling competing at a certain level and pushing yourself really hard, that as you age you have to adjust for that or you'll pay for it.
Yeah, like at some point you're kind of like you're digging yourself in a hole because you're not allowing your body to fully recover. Also realizing that if you have an injury, it doesn't mean you're broken forever. I think sometimes we have that mindset, like we think of ourselves like a car where like the brakes are bad. So it's like, oh, we're just, replace those parts, but like we're not, like we can heal, we can recover.
And I don't know, longevity is harder, right? Like you can as a 20-year-old, you can do almost anything.
Yeah.
But as you get older, it's like it gets kind of harder. Like I've been doing a lot of hiking now and I see a lot of like 20 somethings hiking and I don't see a whole lot of like 50 somethings hiking, at least the trails that we're doing. And I'm like, yeah, it's cute that you can stream up the mountain when you're 20, but talk to me when you're 50. It's things get harder.
Yeah. Well, I think just to play into that, having those other interests too, like the hiking and I do other stuff outside of lifting. I think one thing that's different now is that I have a lot more life balance and stress management
Mm.
compared to when I was younger. It was all just go, 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 like high anxiety stuff, like feelings all the time. And now it's like I can just chill and just relax. Like I'm going to take a break from, lifting for a little bit and go do some other stuff and, you know, deal with other stuff on my plate. And I can always come back to this too. And recognizing that I think is really important and helps a lot with longevity too, so you don't get burnt out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maturity.
What types of activities do you do?
So right now, like I'm shifting gears from lifting to bow hunting. So in September, I have a bow hunt in New Mexico where I'll pack out with my buddy and we'll be out there all week. And it's a lot of hiking and tracking and hunting, and that's kind of what I'm doing.
That's cool.
Next. Yeah, it's amazing because I'll be like disconnected from everything, from like emails and work and everything else. So
Primal.
yes,
Oh,
well,
that's
it's a good
awesome.
disconnect so you can clear your head and stuff.
Right. And I mean, I don't know, that connection to nature I feel like is something that's missing sometimes in a lot of I don't know, just daily rhythm. Like we're not outside very much. We're not
And it's so
very
hard
little
to
stuff.
explain until you're out there and you can just like that feeling of just like you're not worried about anything outside of that little area and just, you're more present and you're appreciating, everything that you have around you.
Totally. I get you.
How
Yeah.
does how does that work with only having nine toes?
It makes me go a little faster around the corners. I don't
What?
Sorry,
I do this
sorry,
because
man.
it,
It just I had to throw that in there
yeah.
randomly. So
Uh,
first of all, you only have nine toes, right?
I only have 9 toes. And the next question is probably like how that happened. Because a lot of people assume that I dropped it on something on myself, like deadlifting. I was spotting and loading at a meet, and I was side spotting on squat, and the guy dumped the bar. And I got most of my foot out of the way, but not quite all of it. And remember, I kept spotting and loading. And then after we got done with that round, that session, I was like, man, my foot still kind of hurts. And I took my shoe off. And that's when I realized it was just kind of dangling by
Oh
by
my
a
gosh.
nerve. And we
Wow.
went to the hospital, and they're like, well, it shattered into like 36 different pieces. I don't know if they actually counted that or not. They're just making that up. But yeah, it was shattered. So they're like, we're going to put a rod in there and you'll never be able to bend it again. You'll probably have to do therapy for a couple months. And I was like, we can just cut that off, right? And they're like, yeah, it's the second option. I'm like, yeah, let's just do that. I got things to do, which I did lift the next day. I competed. It was a Saturday, Sunday meet. So I competed on Sunday.
Won another title and it's fine.
I, I think I broke a bench record for the state. Squats and deadlifts were just token lifts, obviously. So I wasn't.
So, do you think having a high tolerance for pain has helped you as an equip lifter?
Yes, yes, and then again, I've kind of gone backwards. Like there is a point where suits can be too tight, where you're not getting anything out of it. But I do think having that pain tolerance helps, and telling, like educating the college kids a lot of times, like that first week is gonna hurt. It's always gonna feel like that, but your body will adapt, and I guarantee in like 3 or 4 weeks you're gonna be asking me for a tighter suit, and that's what always happens. By the time you start adapting and stuff, you're just like, okay, the suit that made me cry a couple weeks ago, now I'm complaining that it's loose and asking if I can like sew it up, tighten it here and there. So
You do
Yep.
your own. Yeah, that reminds me. So you always, not always, but often bring like a sewing machine with you to meets so that you can alter stuff. So like that's
yeah,
definitely an underrated skill uh
yeah.
for equipped lifters. When did you start doing that?
When I went to Louisiana Tech, Trey Cunningham was the coach at the time, and Trey had taught me how to do sewing and altering the suits. So that's where I learned. And then like over the years, I've gone down to Titan a few times, and like Pete or Isaiah would show me some stuff here and there, like how to fix things and easier ways of altering stuff. So, but yeah, it all started at Tech, and that was just a way of like helping give back to the team and stuff to have someone there to like keep altering the suits and stay pretty busy doing that because there's very few people that know the rules on like how to alter the suit, and it is kind of vague. It's something we've been trying to work on. Like I've had some talks with like Kathy Marksteiner and stuff about clarifying the way some of those rules are written in the
Mhm.
rule book.
I mean, it's that, but you also got to know how to sew. Like I can't sew shit. So, I mean, just reality.
Yeah, and it's good. It's a good skill for sure. Like I'm learning how to do other stuff too. Like I did like cushions and stuff for the house, like and on the patio and stuff like that, just to kind of yeah, not just powerlifting. It helps with other stuff too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, and you're a woodworker as well.
And- yes, and I do woodworking as well. I picked that up when I got a house probably about 10 years ago. I had the garage and I just thought I would start making stuff for the house. And it wasn't great to begin with. But it's like you keep trying stuff and you start getting better at it. But I remember the first thing I made was like a desk for my office, and I like put these drawers and all this stuff. I was really proud of myself, but I made it too short. So like it would hit the top of my knees because I made it like 3 inches too short. So then I just put bricks under it, and I was like, I'll fix that later. It's
Nice.
10 years later, it still has the
On
bricks on.
bricks.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
That sounds
Yeah.
like something Josh would do. I don't know.
Once you find a band-aid that works, you just leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wait, it's not really broken. It's fine.
Yeah.
So the most important question, Mike, on meet day, what's playing in your headphones?
Audiobooks.
Really?
No,
Oh,
that's kind of what I've been listening to when I'm in the gym and stuff too, but I usually don't have my headphones on. Um like once the meet starts, I put my phone in my bag and I just leave it there. Um and I'm just kind of chilling and trying to enjoy just be present in the moment a lot of times, you know.
what about what about mid 2000s Mike? What was he listening to? I don't think mid 2000s Mike was just sitting there taking in the moment, or was he?
No, I was definitely probably with my little like Walkman CD player.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, and there was probably a lot of like Pantera and a lot of punk bands. It was just a lot of rock and a lot of punk was mostly the vibe. I think I still have all those CDs too. I got like a giant trunk somewhere with all these CDs that just sit there now.
right. Do you actually have any place to play them anymore? Like I realized the other day, I'm like, I don't even have a CD player
Yeah, I've
on
got
anything.
cassettes too, and I don't have anything to play those on, but like I don't want to give away my Led Zeppelin cassette. So
It's vintage. I mean, and
I
you
know.
probably had that pencil at one point where you had to wind it up and that's how it's special.
Absolutely.
Our kids will never know this. Like
Yeah.
that joy of fixing a cassette and having it still play, splicing it.
Or having the little booklet of your favorite CDs that you would change out. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Uh, Josh, you know what cassettes are?
Yeah, I have
Sorry.
Do you know what this is?
Oh, that's like a VHS. Wow. Do you have something to play that in even?
I do. I have a VCR right here. Borrowed it from the neighbor. I've been digitizing all my old training and meet videos.
I knew that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was like some
Yeah.
highlight
Yeah.
reel.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting how I guess the thought process is changed because like yeah, I mean 20 years ago, yeah, it was like crazy listening to crazy death metal or whatever as you're lifting and like I still listen to music, but it's more like 80s rock, just kind of chill vibe stuff versus like psycho stuff. And I think yeah, to your point, it's like trying to be a little more present with what's going on and not like super mentally altered by the music, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else.
All right, what's your biggest pet peeve?
With like lifting related
Mm,
or
No, anything.
life? Oh, that's a big one.
Being on this podcast.
No, but I was nervous for it. I'm like, I don't know if I have anything to talk about or anything interesting. I guess my goal was to be like, not the worst guest of all time. So
We don't have anything to talk about every week, and we still do it.
you guys do good. You guys do good with that.
Yeah, yeah, we talk about our pet peeves that have to do with nothing
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
like the wasp and stuff or whatever. Josh was.
Yeah, I still okay. Speaking of, so I wasn't going to talk about this, but it's annoying.
You wanted to.
Yeah, I put that whatever it's called. I still can't say it. Ditacum blah, 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 Earth. Ditac. What's it called, Laura?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Ditacumulus Earth or whatever it's called. What is it called?
To get rid of the
Yeah.
wasp or whatever.
Oh, diatomaceous earth.
Yes,
Diatomaceous.
diatomaceous earth. So
Yeah,
I put that on. There's like four different holes. I put it all over it,
nothing.
and they burrowed like two new holes. So they're just as bad as they were like 3 weeks later. And it's raining every day this week, so I can't really do anything else about it. But I don't know. I'm about to just dump gas down there and light it.
That would probably work. I mean, you could get a flamethrower, one of those portable ones you hook up to a propane tank and just might also
Anyway,
light yourself on fire, but whatever.
yeah, risk reward. What's your favorite meet that you've been to, Mike? That's a big open-ended question, but
That is, I'm trying to think of. We had a lot of really good trips together.
we
Like
did.
you're, I think South Africa was really cool.
Yeah, that was my first one.
Yeah, that was my first junior worlds. Taipei was really nice. That was like the first one I went as a sub junior, and that was a really cool experience. I'm trying to think of a favorite meet though that we went to that I've been to.
That's hard because there's a lot of them. I mean, I have very fond memories of very, very many of them. I can't think of. Yeah, I asked the question, but I don't think I could pick one. So I guess that's not a fair
I would have to
question.
think on that more because I'm trying to think of like even just like in the U.S. When I was in high school, they still had high school nationals on the military base at Fort Hood. And you could actually walk around. It was like basically a museum with like all the military vehicles and stuff like that. That was like pre 9/11. But I remember that was like a really cool one because I went and I think my grandpa had gone with me one year and he was an army, veteran. So that was a cool experience.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Nice.
All right. Well, we'll think of more stuff. Let's move on to the situation, Laura. You want to ask Mike? Mike's you're gonna answer these, by the way.
Oh no.
So not to put you on the spot, but to put you on the spot. So here's the powerlifting situation. You have
This
a
this is a this
brand,
is a this is a softball for you, Mike.
yeah, softball. I'm gonna lob it to you. You have a brand new, never worn squat suit that was slightly too small to get on before your meet. You've never worn it. But on meet day, you weigh in really light and your normal suit is too big and you think, what about that new suit? What do you wear?
Don't do it. Don't put the new suit on. But I understand that logic too. Like I usually have like a backup suit just in case. Like I had one packed. I was like, this is my backup in case something happens with the other suit. And but I already know I'm too small for it. And so like when it came to packing, I just like I'm not gonna take this out of the equation and just not pack it. But I've also had lifters tell me this or try this numerous times and it never works out very well.
What's been the result most of the times?
They usually bomb out.
Can't get deep enough.
I can think of 5 people that have done something similar, like, oh, I found this while I was packing. Let me put it on. Or well, it didn't fit the other 3 times I did it, but let me it'll fit on meet day. And yeah, 4 out of those 5 people I can think of bombed out, and the fifth one only got their opener on their third attempt. So
Am I the fifth one you're talking about?
no.
Did you
Okay,
do this?
so then there's two people
Okay.
because I thought I was gonna get you to say try it. I tried it. So it
Yeah.
was actually at Junior Worlds in 2006. Uh, I wore a new suit for the first time, which is the worst place to try it. And yeah, I was high on my first two, and then I got two white lights on my third, but some people said that that was maybe a gift.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably may have should have bombed out at that meet, but
I had another person who he came to my house so I could alter his suit and like tighten up the straps and take like an inch out of the straps and like an inch out of the legs before he was like getting on the plane to go to Worlds for Junior Worlds. And I was like, please try this on. He's like, no, I don't have time. I got to go to the airport. I have to be there in like 30 minutes. I'm like, please put the suit on, so don't fly 10 hours and then hope the suit fits you when you get there. And
the only silver lining of that though is if it doesn't, you can cut the seams back out. But a
yeah,
brand new suit, there's no option to loosen it up.
yeah, there's no plan B in that situation.
Yeah. Cool. So I agree. That's the correct answer. I was trying to bait you into saying just put it on.
It's easy to say it, but like a lot of things, when it's your own brain and you're thinking and justifying things to yourself, you're like, I can make this work. I can figure
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Right.
no. That's the thing. Like my lifter brain is so much dumber than my coach brain.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
that's why I go like I bring people to help me on meet day. Like I'm used to coaching and running numbers and doing all that stuff with other people. When it's me, like I do better, and it's probably better for everyone else if I just go full like smooth brain and let whoever's coaching me do their job coaching. So,
yeah. Yeah. Same.
which is hard to let that go. It's hard to shift gears.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, my best meets have been when I didn't know anything. I didn't try to know anything. Like when I try to get involved, it's like things go bad. Like the new suit, for an example. That was almost disaster.
Wow.
Almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you like speak your thoughts out loud to another sane human, they might like course correct you,
Yeah. You are an
perhaps.
idiot. Don't do that.
Yeah, you really are. Um, so like when Josh is a coach, he has his glasses on, but when he becomes a lifter, he takes his glasses off and becomes a different person. It's like, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde,
Mhm.
Mr. Easygoing guy to Mr. Don't talk to me, I might bite your head off guy. Do you have a similar personality change?
Um, no, not really. I'm just kind of like trying to be low key most of the time. I think that's like the only mode I have at this point. Okay, going back to like, pet peeve stuff, I think, there's some people are so hyped that they get messed up in a meet because they're like so over the top. They're like screaming, yelling. It's all the backside thing. And it's like, and then you miss the start command. Maybe you just need to slow down a little bit. But I know when I was in high school and even like the first year or so in college, it's the same thing. It was like, that's the mentality when you're that age. And I think as you start to mature a little bit more and hopefully you have some good role models around you too. Because I know I had people, they're like, hey, this is, handling yourself with like a professional type of, like you're there to do business, and save your energy, I think is something I was taught later. And that's good advice.
So maybe that transitions into a nice like new lifter tip, like control your hype. Don't get yourself so hyped up that you just lose your mind. There's this great story that Caleb Williams has told me about I can't remember if it was one of his first meets or something. I don't remember the details, but it was like this whole thing where this guy was just hyping himself up so bad, like pounding on his chest and talking to himself really loud and screaming, and he bombed. And yeah,
Yeah. It's like the difference between like a volcano and a laser beam. Of like volcano has like they're both powerful forces, but one is just going everywhere. And at least the laser beam is like there's a target, there's a goal that you're accomplishing. So it's like you kind of have to have that, And for new lifters, they just telling people to breathe before like the meet is like if they've never done a meet before and it's the first time, it's like, hey, you know, look at me, take a big breath, tell me what the commands are, and then go do it. And just yeah, just trying to step back just a little bit, you know.
I like it. All right. That's basically all I have. I
Okay,
feel like
cool.
there's so much stuff. Like we've known each other so long. Like, how do we have nothing else
Yeah.
to talk about?
Yeah, I feel like we could just go on for quite a bit.
Well, let's just do this. Rapid fire. What are your memories of powerlifting in the last 10 minutes here? Just rapid fire. Random shit. Doesn't have to make any sense.
Oh man, the being put on the spot. Um, it's a lot of the same stuff, over and over. Like the meets are pretty similar. There's always these things that go wrong. Always something that goes wrong, right?
Yep.
And at the time moment it feels like such a big deal. And then I can't even remember 2, 3 years ago what the big deal was that got me riled up or something like that. So that's not at all what you're asking for questions, but
Doesn't matter.
yeah.
Let's do this then. Let's your at nationals, was that where are those numbers that you hit at nationals in relation to, I guess, all time for you?
PR on squat. My best is 282 and I hit 290 bench. The last one, I missed my last bench. That would have been like a 2.5 to 5 key PR, I think. And then deadlift was pretty close to a PR, but that's also something I haven't pulled in like 10 years almost, which I was pretty happy with that. So
So was that a PR total then or not?
PR total by like 20 keys altogether.
Like lifetime
That's
PR.
lifetime PR. And then the year before that was like a 15 key PR. So
wow.
which is
That's
amazing. Like I did not think that was actually going to be something I'd be doing at 40. Is still hitting PRs and still because again sometimes we get in our own heads about like being in our twilight years or past our prime and stuff like that. So and thankfully my wife tells me I'm wrong every time I bring that up. That I'm like okay, well I'm just not at that level anymore. So it's nice to have someone that's always like super supportive, to tell you those kind of things, put you in your place.
yeah. I didn't realize that. So when I asked the question, like I kind of knew that it was a PR total, but I didn't realize it was that significant. I guess that's huge.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, right.
that's almost like it's not newbie gains, but it's almost newbie gains. Like,
Yeah.
and you have to be so kind of going back to Jeremy's question. Like, I don't remember what his question was. I'm gonna edit this out, but
Longevity kind of stuff. Something about longevity.
yeah, just
Um,
longevity and just like being smart. Like,
yeah, it's a marathon, not a race. Like we say that a lot, but understanding, and applying that to training, I think is important. I'm also trying to like counteract the aging by just getting fatter every year. So,
yeah,
that's kind of my plan so far. Um,
bigger total, lower dots, baby.
yeah, I think knowing when to move up, that's also a good one. That's not a new lifter tip by any means, but like I think
It's a good one though. I think
it
that's
is
I
a
think
good one
that's
because I will relate to myself because it'll take me 2 or 3 bad meets in a row before I would admit that, like, you know what, I've been at this weight class for so many years, it's probably time to move up. And then when I do never go up, and then I'm happy with myself, and you still like second guess your thought process at the time. So
Yeah, but I mean, I think that can, I mean, for a lot of lifters, I think that does apply as a new lifter tip because I know a lot of like teenage junior lifters that are trying to cut weight to stay in a weight class when their body wants to grow at that stage of life. Like that's, you know, in
it's a
that
detriment.
situation, it's a,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it definitely is. And I think, you know, if you're fighting to stay in a weight class when you're in your, you know, teenager, early 20s, like that's prime opportunity to grow and get, you know, build muscle mass
yeah.
and, you know,
And I understand that people are afraid of like being more like, oh, am I going to be competitive at this weight class if I move up because people are stronger? But it's like you're going to be stronger too.
right.
So if you're filling out your frame better, you know,
Yep.
like I started out weighing 92 pounds at my first meet, and like thank God I don't weigh that anymore, you know.
92. I didn't realize you were that light. Wow.
Very, yeah,
Wow. And how old were you when you first competed?
16.
Wow. That's a long little career there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's on the horizon for you? What's next?
Good question. I'm gonna be, I'm shifting gears, kind of focusing on hunting right now, but also like I'm gonna start coaching back with the Sam Houston team. So honestly, that takes up most of my fall. Like I'll be basically focused on those guys and those meets that they're doing and fundraising stuff. And then depending on life, I may want to do the Arnold, or I'll find another like local like tune-up meet. I did the state meet last year to qualify for Raw Nats, but then ended up not competing at it. So maybe this year we'll give that a run too.
So wait, you're
Sweet.
a raw lifter too?
Once in a while, I do like one Raw meet a decade. Looking back at my results.
Good way to PR, right? If it's a once a decade.
Yeah, it's something fun. The first Raw meet I did was actually 2010 with my friend Sandra. And I was just in town, like I was in Houston doing my clinical rotations, and we just did an impromptu like weekend of meet, and it was one of Wes's, and that's when Raw was just coming around. So I was like, I don't have any gear, I'm not ready to train, and then Sanders like, oh, it's a Raw meet, you don't have to do any of that. It's just kind of like show up and like get a singlet and a belt, and you're good to go. And I was like, oh, that's different.
That sounds like my training for the last 4 meets I've done.
Hmm, sure.
Which is why I'm chronically injured.
Are you going to work on the comeback, Josh?
That's the plan. I need to get with you and get some things squared away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to. I mean, that's been my goal for a long time is like because I was training for nationals in 2020 when COVID hit. Because so I think nationals 2019 was my last one, and that was right before I became a master. So like my goal has always been to compete as a masters lifter, but here I am. I'll be 43 in early next year and still haven't done a masters meet. So I think it's about time.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't want to skip the Masters one division and go straight to M2. I need to get one in before it's too late.
Right.
All right. So we heard it here. Josh is making a comeback.
Yeah, sometime before I become an M2.
No pressure.
Yeah, I got a couple more years.
Nice.
So cool. All right, man. Well, I know you got stuff to get to, but I appreciate you being on. Any words of wisdom as we close out?
No, I hope that your editing skills are really good and you can make me look really smart on this like podcast, or just less dumb. But
That I can do.
okay, no, like actual advice, like I don't know. I think the sport has given a lot to me over the years, and that's why I keep staying with it. Like I just love the community, and the friendships I've made, and just the environment that you can create by having this group of people that sometimes come from very different backgrounds, different cultures, everything like that. But that one, weird sport that keeps us all together that we have like in common can just make such a big difference for a lot of people. And, I think that's always the goal for me, is like kind of to create that community and have that kind of, environment. Sometimes we lose that side of the big picture.
Pulling on my heartstrings, man. I love it. Yep. I agree though. That's, we all kind of came up with that environment, and I guess it's in a way paying it forward, like making sure we kind of create that for other people in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And giving back more than you receive is important,
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having.
Always good catching up. Definitely appreciate it. And yeah, I think we will be talking soon.
Sounds great.
All right. Well, that's it for today. Thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you all next week. Later.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.